Welcome once again to the video lecture series in History Class 12th. We will continue with our discussion about 6th chapter which deals with Bhakti and Sufi traditions from 8th to 18th centuries. The chapter is divided into 4 subtopics. 3 we have already discussed. Those are Bhakti movement in South India, Bhakti traditions in North India, Islamic traditions in India and Sufism. The last one we will discuss today, that is integration of cults, differences and conflict according to historians and reconstructing histories of religion. This topic, that is integration of cults, differences and conflict according to historians and reconstructing histories of religion, gives insight into meaning of integration of cults, great and little traditions, difference and conflict, worship of goddesses, differences in Vedic and Puranic traditions, situations of conflicts, Bhakti traditions, and challenges faced by historians in constructing histories of religion. Between 8th to 18th century, new religious traditions emerged. Wide range of gods and goddesses were visible in sculpture as well as in text. Major deities like Vishnu, Shiv and the goddess, they were visualized in variety of forms. This indicates the continued and extended worship of these deities. This continued and extended worship of Vishnu, Shiv and the goddess was the result of difference and conflict and the integration of cults. Now, what is the meaning of integration of cults? Integration of cults, according to historians, is the assimilation and mixture of religious beliefs and practices. According to historians, there were at least 2 processes at work. First process was a process of circulation of Brahmanical ideas. This expansion was possible due to composition, compilation and preservation of Puranic text into simple Sanskrit verse to make it accessible for women and Shudras who were generally excluded from Vedic learning. The second process was of accepting and reworking the beliefs and practices of women, Shudras and other social categories by the Brahmanas. In fact, many beliefs and practices were shaped through a continuous dialogue between Sanskritic, Puranic traditions and local traditions. The best example of the integration of cults is evident at Puri in Odisha, where the principal deity identified by the 12th century as Jagannath. It means the Lord of the world as a form of Vishnu. As we can see in this picture, when we compare the images of Jagannath at Puri in Odisha with that of Vishnu reclining on the serpent Sheshnag of around 5th century CE, CE is Common Era, from Devgarh, Uttar Pradesh. Here we can easily notice how Vishnu is represented in a very different way. In the case of the image of Jagannath at Puri, a local deity whose image was and continues to be made of wood by local tribal specialists was recognized as a form of Vishnu. At the same time, Vishnu was visualized in a way that was very different from that in other parts of the country. Such examples of the integration of cults are found amongst goddess cult as well. Worship of the goddesses, often simply in the form of a stone smeared with ochre, was quite widespread. These local deities, they were often incorporated within the Puranic framework by providing them with an identity as a wife of the principal male deity. Sometimes they were equated with Lakshmi, wife of Vishnu. In other examples, with Parvati, the wife of Shiva. Here again we can see a sculpture of a Buddhist goddess named Marichi of 10th century found in Bihar is an example of the process of integration of different religious beliefs and practices. Now, what are these great and little traditions? In the process of integration of cults, many beliefs and practices, they were shaped through a continuous dialogue between Sanskritic Puranic traditions called great traditions and local practices called little traditions. The terms great and little traditions, they were coined by a sociologist named Robert Redfield in the 12th century to describe the cultural practices of peasant societies. He found that peasants, they observed rituals and customs that emerged from dominant social categories including priests and rulers. These he classified as part of a great tradition. At the same time, peasants also followed local practices that did not necessarily correspond with those of the great traditions. These he included within the category of little tradition. Robert Redfield, he also noticed that both great and little traditions, they changed over time through a process of interaction. While scholars, they accept the significance of these categories and processes, they are often uncomfortable with the hierarchy suggested by the terms great and little. What is this difference and conflict? Between 8th to 18th centuries, on one hand was integration of cults, and on the other hand, there are examples of difference of conflict among religious traditions. Sometimes to get royal donations and sometimes to increase their status and significance. For example, worship of goddess. Worship of goddesses is often classified as tantric worship. Tantric practices were open equally for men and women without any difference of caste and class. These tantric practices, they influence Shaivism and Buddhism, especially in the eastern, northern and southern parts of the subcontinent. All of these somewhat diverse and dissimilar beliefs and practices would often come to be classified as Hindus over the course of the next millennium. Now, differences in Vedic and Puranic traditions also. When we compare Vedic and Puranic traditions, the difference on conflict is very clear. The principal deities of the Vedic period, Agni, Indra and Som, they became marginal figures, rarely visible in textual or visual representation in Puranic traditions. Though there are references of Vishnu, Shiv and the goddess in Vedic mantras, these have little in common with the elaborate Puranic representation of Vishnu, Shiv and the goddesses. In spite of all these differences, the Veda continued to be valued as authoritative. There are situations of conflicts also, like those who valued the Vedic traditions, they often condemned practices that went beyond the closely regulated contact with the divine through the performance of sacrifices or precisely chanted mantras. But those engaged in tantric practices, they often ignored the authority of the Vedas. Devotees, they often tended to project their chosen deity, either Vishnu or Shiva, as supreme. Relations with other traditions such as Buddhism or Jainism, they were often filled with tensions, if not open conflict. What are these bhakti traditions? The tradition of devotion or bhakti need to be understood within the context of differences and conflict. Devotional worship had a long history of almost 1,000 years before 8th to 18th centuries. Expression of devotion ranged from the routine worship of deities like Vishnu and Shiva within temples to getting lost in the state of ecstasy full of devotion, love and surrender towards God. The singing and chanting of devotional compositions in praise of Vishnu or Shiva was often a part of such modes of worship. Now, what are the challenges faced by historians in reconstructing histories of religion? Firstly, by the mid-1st millennium CE Common Era, the main source to reconstruct histories of religion is stupa, monasteries and temples. These typified certain religious beliefs and practices. Some religious traditions are reconstructed using textual traditions like Puranas, and some religious traditions remain only faintly visible in textual and visual records. Secondly, from 8th to 18th centuries, new textual sources became available, which are compositions attributed to poet saints, most of whom express themselves orally in regional languages used by ordinary people. These compositions, often set to music, were compiled by devotees generally after the death of the poet saints. These traditions were fluid since they were occasionally modified or abandoned with changing political, social or cultural context. Using these sources thus poses a challenge to historians. Thirdly, historians use biographies of saints, which may not be literally accurate, but allow a glimpse into the ways in which devotees they perceive the lives of these saints. Fourthly, as far as textual traditions regarding religious beliefs are concerned, there is wide variety in it, written in several different languages and styles. They range from simple and direct language of the Vachanas of Baswanna to the ornate Persian of the Farman of the Mughal emperors. Understanding each type of text requires different skills. Apart from familiarity with several languages, the historians has to be aware of the subtle variations in style that characterize each genre. A wide range of text produced in and around Sufi khanqahs are like manuals dealing with Sufi thoughts and practices written by Ali bin Usman Huzwiri. He enables historians to see how traditions outside the subcontinent they influence Sufi thoughts in India. There are uttered conversations of Sufi saints compiled by Amir Hasan Sizzi Dehlvi as a collection of conversations of Sheikh Nizamuddin Aulia compiled with the permission of the Sheikh with a purpose to give moral education. Then there are Makhtubat. Those are written collection of letters. They are letters written by Sufi masters addressed to their disciples and associates. They often reflect the life conditions of the recipients and are responses to their aspirations and difficulties, both spiritual and worldly. Then there are tazkiras. Those are the biographical accounts of saints. Tazkiras are of great value for historians and help them to understand more fully the nature of the tradition. 6. All these religious traditions they continue to flourish till date. This continuity allows historians to compare contemporary practices with those described in textual traditions or shown in old paintings and helps them trace changes. At the same time, since these traditions are part of people's life, so there is often a lack of acceptance of the possibility that these may have changed over time. The challenge for historians is to undertake such investigations with sensitivity while at the same time recognizing that religious traditions like other traditions are dynamic and change over time. So, we discussed about meaning of integration of cults, great and little traditions, difference and conflict, worship of goddess, differences in Vedic and Puranic traditions, situations of conflicts, bhakti tradition, challenges faced by historians in reconstructing histories of religion. Thank you.